This video is about hope. She was just a seamstress, until a heiress turned her tears into joy. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. In a sun-drenched city that blended old-world charm with modern hustle, a small seamstress shop nestled between towering buildings like a hidden gem. The shop was named Stitches of Joy. Yet joy felt like a distant memory to its sole proprietor, Elena. Elena was a woman of delicate stature, with hands worn from years of labor, yet they moved with the grace of a dancer. At 40, she had lived through her share of storms. The business, inherited from her mother, was meant to be a legacy. But as the years passed, what had once been a vibrant source of creativity turned into a struggle for survival. Every morning, she would unlock the door at dawn, greeted by the familiar scent of fabric and thread. The bell above the door chimed softly, a sound she found solace in. Yet, there was an ache in her heart that the soft whispers of the fabric couldn't mend. "Good morning, Elena," called her neighbor, Mrs. Hargrove, an elderly woman with a penchant for gossip. "Still working your fingers to the bone?" "Morning, Mrs. Hargrove," Elena replied with a faint smile, her eyes betraying the fatigue that clung to her like a shadow. As the days turned into weeks, the struggles grew more pronounced. The city was changing, and with it, the demand for her handcrafted creations dwindled. The rise of fast fashion had turned the world into a place of haste, where the beauty of craftsmanship was overshadowed by cheap mass production. Elena fought to keep her shop afloat. She poured her heart into every gown, every thread meticulously sewn, yet often found herself staring at the wall of fabrics, feeling more like a ghost than a creator. When the bills piled up and the customers thinned out, she often felt as if hope was slipping through her fingers like the very threads she cherished. One rainy afternoon, as raindrops danced on the shop window, Elena's eyes fell on a dress she had once made for a local charity ball. It was a simple design, yet it radiated elegance. She remembered how proud she felt crafting it, pouring her dreams into the stitches. But that joy felt like a faded photograph now, a reminder of what was lost. "Maybe I should give it away," she murmured, a thought that had crossed her mind more than once. Giving away her creations felt like a way to breathe life back into her passion, even if just for a moment. Yet, deep down, she feared this would be yet another loss. Days turned into weeks, and each moment felt heavy with despair. One evening, as she closed up, she noticed a child peering through the glass, eyes wide with wonder at the colorful fabrics that surrounded her. Elena smiled gently, inviting the little girl inside. "Do you like the dresses?" Elena asked, kneeling down to meet the child's gaze. "They're beautiful," the girl exclaimed, her voice filled with innocence. "Can I try one?" Elena hesitated but then nodded. She rummaged through her collection, pulling out a small, frilly dress that sparkled with sequins. The girl twirled in delight, spinning like a little whirlwind of joy. "See, you look like a princess." Elena gasped, her own heart lifting at the sight. "I want to be a seamstress like you," the girl declared, bright-eyed and beaming. Elena's heart swelled with emotions. "You can be anything you want, sweet girl. Just remember to weave your dreams into every stitch." As she watched the girl leave, Elena felt a flicker of something she thought had extinguished long ago. Hope. The child's exuberance had reminded her of the joy inherent in creation, how it could spark dreams in others, even when her own felt lost. However, as she returned to her lonely space, the weight of her reality pressed back down. The bills kept coming and the customers remained scarce. One night, as she lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, she wept quietly, letting the tears flow freely. "Why can't I find my way back?" she whispered to the dark. "Why does it always feel like I'm losing?" But life has a way of surprising you when you least expect it. The very next day, a commotion erupted outside her shop. The sounds of laughter and chatter drifted through the open door, and Elena, curious, stepped outside to find a crowd gathered. In the center stood a young woman, radiant and regal in a flowing gown. She had an air of sophistication, her laughter infectious. Elena learned that she was Celeste, an heiress known for her lavish charity events. Today, she was hosting a fashion show to support local artisans. "Let's bring back the beauty of handmade crafts," Celeste called out, her voice echoing with determination. "Let's celebrate our city's hidden treasures." Elena felt a spark of excitement mixed with apprehension. Could this be a chance for her? But she quickly silenced that thought. "What could I possibly offer in comparison to those dazzling designers?" she murmured to herself. But as the days passed, she couldn't shake off the idea. The little girl's dream echoed in her mind like a melody. Perhaps she had something worth sharing, something that could remind people of the beauty in the meticulous work of their hands. Elena spent nights working on a new collection, fueled by a newfound determination. Each stitch was a step toward reclaiming her passion. She poured her heart into the fabrics, creating pieces that spoke of resilience and beauty, of the hopes and dreams woven into their very threads. As the fashion show approached, she found herself battling waves of self-doubt. "What if no one appreciates my work?" she pondered. But each time those thoughts threatened to overwhelm her, she remembered the little girl's smile and Celeste's fierce spirit. On the day of the show, the atmosphere buzzed with energy. The venue was filled with laughter, chatter, and the unmistakable scent of creativity. As Elena arrived, she felt her heart race. Would they see the beauty she had poured into her creations? Celeste greeted her warmly, her enthusiasm infectious. "Elena, your pieces are stunning. I can't wait for everyone to see them." The warmth in Celeste's eyes ignited a flicker of confidence in Elena. As the models took the runway, showcasing her designs, she felt an overwhelming wave of emotions wash over her. Each step, each twirl, resonated with the heartbeat of dreams, resilience, and new beginnings. The applause was thunderous, echoing in her heart. In that moment, as she stood amidst the celebration of creativity, Elena realized that she was no longer just a seamstress. She was a creator, a dream weaver. And in that realization, she found not just hope but a renewed sense of purpose. As the event drew to a close, Elena was approached by a young woman, her eyes sparkling with admiration. "You've inspired me to follow my dreams too. Thank you for sharing your art with us." Elena felt tears prick at her eyes, not of sadness but of joy and connection. Perhaps the struggles she had faced were but threads weaving a larger tapestry of resilience, and in sharing her story she could inspire others to embrace their own. And so, the journey began. Not just for Elena, but for everyone touched by the magic of creativity, the beauty of kindness, and the unstoppable power of hope. This was just the beginning, and she was ready to face whatever came next, one stitch at a time. As the days turned into weeks after the fashion show, the initial spark of hope that Elena had felt began to glow brighter than it had in years. Orders started trickling in, and her quaint little shop, Stitches of Joy, began to bustle with new energy. The community, inspired by her heartfelt designs, began to flock to her door, eager to wear her creations. It felt as if the city itself was celebrating Elena's rebirth as an artist. One afternoon, while pinning the hem of a vibrant green dress, the delicate chime of the shop bell announced the arrival of a familiar face. It was Celeste, her bright smile radiating warmth as she entered. "Hello, Ella." Celeste greeted with her usual enthusiasm. "I wanted to stop by and see how you're doing after the show. Your pieces are still the talk of the town." Elena's cheeks warmed with gratitude. "Thank you, Celeste. I can hardly believe how much has changed. I'm so grateful for your support." "Of course. You had the talent within you all along. Sometimes it just takes a little nudge," Celeste replied. "I think you should consider hosting a workshop at the shop. Share your skills and joy with others." Elena's heart fluttered. "A workshop?" she echoed, uncertain. "But what if no one comes? What if they don't find it useful?" Celeste stepped closer, her expression earnest. "Elena, your work speaks to people's hearts. You have so much knowledge to offer. Even if only a handful show up, it's a chance to inspire others, just like you inspired me." As Celeste left, Elena's mind was abuzz. Could she really teach others? The idea seemed daunting, yet a part of her whispered, "What if this could breathe more life into your shop?" Gathering her courage, Elena began planning the workshop. She lined the walls of her shop with vibrant fabric swatches and organized her tools, ensuring they sparkled in the light. Each day she found herself filled with excitement and trepidation. As the date approached, finally the day of the workshop dawned, and as Elena opened the shop door, she was met with a mixture of nerves and exhilaration. She could hardly believe that people would come to learn from her. Yet, as the clock approached the start time, her heart sank. The shop remained quiet, each tick of the clock echoing her self-doubt. Then, just as she began to doubt her decision, the bell chimed. One by one, a handful of eager faces entered the shop, eyes wide with curiosity. A young girl, perhaps the same age as the child who had twirled in her dress weeks ago, clutched a notebook filled with sketches. "I can't wait to learn how to sew," the girl exclaimed, her enthusiasm infectious. Elena's heart swelled, and she felt the remnants of doubt melt away. "Welcome. I'm so glad you're all here. Let's create something beautiful together." As she began to demonstrate the basics of sewing, she found herself enveloped in a tapestry of laughter, shared stories, and budding creativity. A young man named David shared how he had always been fascinated by fashion, but never had the courage to pursue it. "Your designs gave me hope," he confessed, fingers trembling slightly at the fabric. Elena smiled softly. "You have a unique vision to offer. Don't be afraid to express it." Throughout the workshop, she felt a lightness in her heart. Each stitch she taught was a connection to the dreams of others. It felt like she was not just sharing a skill, but a piece of herself. As the day unfolded, her shop became more than just a seamstress haven. It transformed into a sanctuary of hope and inspiration. As they wrapped up, the young girl with the notebook approached Elena, her smile beaming. "Can I come back next week? I want to make my own dress." Tears of joy welled in Elena's eyes. "Of course, I would love that," she replied, embracing the girl gently. That workshop marked the beginning of something beautiful. Week after week, more people returned to learn, each bringing their own stories, hopes, and dreams. Elena felt herself healing alongside them, the community growing around her like a delicate patchwork quilt. But with the rise of her newfound success, the shadows of self-doubt still loomed. One evening, as she sat in the quiet of her shop, preparing for the next workshop, a familiar voice cut through her thoughts. "Elena, you're doing amazing things here," Celeste said, walking in with an air of excitement. "I have a proposal for you." Elena looked up, her heart racing. "What kind of proposal?" Celeste's eyes sparkled. "I want you to showcase your designs at a larger venue, a community center in the heart of the city. It could be a way to uplift more artisans like you." Elena's heart thudded in her chest. A larger venue, but what if I fail? What if no one comes? "Even if one person walks away inspired, it's worth it," Celeste reassured her. "You've already created a ripple effect. Trust in your gifts, Elena. You have so much to share." That night, Elena lay awake, weighing the possibilities. She thought of the little girl with dreams of her own, the young man who had begun to believe in himself, and all the faces that had brightened her shop. With determination stirring within her, she decided to take the leap. After weeks of preparation, the day of the showcase arrived. Elena stood backstage, her heart a symphony of nerves and excitement. As the music began, models strode out wearing her creations, each piece telling a story of resilience and love. She watched, breathless, as the audience erupted in applause. Amidst the cheers, Elena caught sight of familiar faces, her workshop students beaming with pride. The joy in their eyes reminded her of the power of community and the beauty of shared dreams. In that moment, she felt a surge of strength welling up inside her. After the final model left the stage, Elena stepped forward to share her journey, her voice steady but emotional. "I once felt lost and alone, but the love and kindness I've received from you all have rekindled my spirit. Let's continue to uplift one another." The applause that followed echoed not just for her, but for everyone in that space. Every dreamer, every creator, every soul who dared to stitch together their lives amidst uncertainty. As the event concluded, Elena was approached by several people eager to collaborate. They wanted to explore the art of sewing, to learn how to express themselves through fabric, just as she had. In the weeks that followed, her shop flourished, not just with orders, but with a sense of belonging and unity. Elena found herself guiding others not just in sewing, but in crafting their own stories, shaping their dreams thread by thread. One evening, as she packed up after a successful workshop, the little girl who had first twirled in her shop entered, holding her own creation, a dress she had sewn herself. "Look, Elena, I made this," she beamed, her eyes sparkling with pride. Elena knelt down, her heart swelling. "It's beautiful. You truly are a seamstress now. I want to make more. Just like you," the girl declared. Elena smiled through watery eyes, realizing that her journey had come full circle. She had transformed not only her own life, but had ignited a flame of creativity in the hearts of others. Together, they stood in the shop, surrounded by fabric, laughter, and dreams waiting to be stitched into reality. And for the first time in a long while, Elena felt truly at home, surrounded by the beauty of human spirit, resilience, and the magical threads of hope that connected them all. As she gazed at the little girl, Elena knew that every stitch they created together was not just a piece of clothing, but a symbol of their shared journey, a testament to the power of kindness, perseverance, and the beauty of never giving up on one's dreams. As the sun rose the next morning, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Elena's heart fluttered with excitement. She had opened her shop, Stitches of Joy, with a renewed sense of purpose. The laughter from her workshop still echoed in her mind, and the little girl's pride in her creation filled her with warmth. Elena's hands moved deftly as she prepared for the day, but a whisper of doubt crept in. What if the enthusiasm doesn't last? What if nobody wants to learn from me anymore? Just as she was about to succumb to her worries, the bell above the door chimed. "Good morning?" Celeste's voice rang out as she entered, a glowing presence that seemed to lift the air around her. "I came to see how the workshop went. I heard it was a hit." "It was," Elena replied, smiling. It felt incredible to see others so eager to create, but I'm nervous about whether they'll keep coming back. Celeste placed a reassuring hand on Elena's shoulder. "You've sparked something beautiful, Elena. Just keep sharing your passion. It's infectious." Elena nodded, feeling bolstered by her friend's encouragement. "I want to do more, but I'm still scared of failing." "Failure is just a stepping stone to success," Celeste said with a shrug. "If you ever find yourself doubting, just remember how far you've come." As Celeste walked out, Elena let her words wash over her. She returned to her sewing machine, each stitch a reminder of her journey. Inspired by the joy she had ignited, she began drafting plans for the next workshop, a special session tailored for beginners, focusing on the beauty of simple designs. Weeks flew by in a flurry of creativity and laughter. Every workshop filled the shop with new faces, each eager to learn and share their stories. The community that surrounded Stitches of Joy buzzed with excitement, and Elena's heart felt lighter with each passing day. One Friday evening, while tidying up after a particularly lively session, Elena noticed David lingering at the door. The young man had become a regular attendee, always bringing an earnest curiosity to the shop. "Hey, David, what's up?" Elena called out, stepping toward him with a smile. "I've been thinking," he said hesitantly, running a hand through his hair. "I want to try making something a bit more advanced. Maybe a jacket, but I'm not sure if I'm ready for that yet." Elena's eyes sparkled with encouragement. "Why not? You've shown so much progress. I'd love to help you with it. Let's make it together." David's face lit up. "You really think I can do it?" "Absolutely. The only limits are the ones we set for ourselves, she replied, beaming. How about we schedule a special session just for you? You can show me your vision, and we'll make it happen. As the days turned into weeks, Elena's shop became a haven not just for creativity, but for vulnerability. People began sharing their struggles, their dreams, and their aspirations. The sense of community deepened, as if they were all weaving threads of hope together. One day, while preparing for the special session with David, Elena received an unexpected visit. A woman named Maria walked in, looking distressed. Her clothes were slightly tattered, and there was a heaviness in her eyes. "Hello, sorry to bother you," Maria stammered, glancing around the shop filled with fabrics and laughter. "Not at all. What brings you here today?" Elena asked gently, putting her work aside. Maria took a deep breath. "I've been struggling to find work. I used to love sewing, but I lost my way. I saw your sign for workshops and thought, maybe it could help?" "Of course it can," Elena exclaimed, her heart aching for Maria. "You're welcome to join us. It's all about finding joy and creating again. We can help you rediscover that passion." Maria's tense shoulders relaxed a bit at Elena's warmth. "Thank you. I really want to try. I just feel lost. Let's start fresh together." "You're not alone," Elena assured her, her heart swelling with empathy. "Every stitch we create is a little victory." As the workshop began, Maria surprised everyone with her talent. She brought an eye for design that ignited the group's imagination. The laughter and camaraderie flowed freely, and with each passing session, Maria's spirits lifted. One afternoon, while Elena was demonstrating a technique, she noticed David struggling with a particularly tricky part of his jacket. He frowned in frustration. "David, remember what we talked about last time?" Elena encouraged. "It's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn." He sighed, chin resting on his hands. "I'm just worried it won't turn out the way I imagined." "There's no I am right way for creativity," Elena reminded him. "Your vision is unique, just like you. Let's keep working on it together." Moved by her support, David picked up the fabric again. "Thanks, Elena. I'll try to remember that." The workshop flourished into a community of artists, dreamers, and resilient souls. Each person walked through the door carrying their burdens, only to leave behind a part of them with every stitch they created. But as Elena's shop thrived, the world outside began shifting again. The rise of economic uncertainty left many artisans struggling to find their footing. Elena watched with a heavy heart as her community faced new challenges. One evening, as the sun set, casting golden rays through her shop windows, Elena gathered her workshop participants for an important discussion. The mood in the room felt tense, and uncertainty hung in the air. "I know times are tough right now," she began, her voice steady. "But we've built something beautiful here. We've created not just art, but a family. We can lift each other up through these challenges." Maria nodded, her eyes glistening. "I could use help with my sewing business. Maybe we can collaborate? Together we could offer something special." Elena's heart swelled at the suggestion. "What if we held a community sewing day? We could collaborate on projects and showcase our work. It could bring us all together and we can support each other." The room erupted with enthusiasm. Ideas flowed as the group brainstormed ways to uplift one another. They planned to create a collection of handmade pieces to sell at a local market, with all proceeds going to support those in need. As they worked together over the next few weeks, their bond deepened. The shop was filled with laughter and purpose, and each person poured their heart into the collection. They learned to trust in one another, to lean on each other's strengths. Finally, the day of the community sewing day arrived, and the atmosphere buzzed with energy. People from all walks of life gathered, eager to share their creativity. Elena felt a mix of nervousness and excitement as she prepared to showcase their work. "Remember, we're here to inspire one another," she told the group before they opened the doors. "Let's create something beautiful together." As people entered, the room transformed into a kaleidoscope of colors and fabrics. Each creation told a story, the struggles, the resilience, and the shared hopes of every individual. "Look at how vibrant everything is," Maria exclaimed, holding up a colorful dress adorned with flowers. "I can't believe we made this." Elena beamed with pride. "We did this together, and it's just the beginning." As the day unfolded, people embraced the spirit of community. They shared laughter, hugs, and dreams, binding themselves together in a tapestry of unity. The sales from their collection surpassed all expectations, and more importantly, the event rekindled hope in everyone's hearts. In the weeks that followed, Elena watched as the community continued to thrive. The bonds formed during that sewing day extended beyond the shop. They became a source of strength for one another. David launched his own line of handmade accessories, while Maria began offering sewing classes of her own. One chilly afternoon, as she prepared for the next workshop, Elena received an unexpected letter. It was from Celeste, inviting her to showcase her work at a prominent arts festival in the city, a chance to share their collective journey on a larger platform. With a mix of excitement and nervousness, Elena gathered her community. "We have an opportunity to showcase our creations at the festival," she announced, watching as gasps of disbelief filled the room. "But what if we fail?" David voiced the concern that lingered in the air. Elena took a deep breath. "What if we don't? What if we inspire others just like we've inspired each other?" As they prepared for the festival, the group poured their hearts into every piece they made. Each stitch carried not just the weight of fabric, but the essence of their collective journey, a tapestry woven with resilience, hope, and kindness. On the day of the festival, the sun shone brightly, illuminating the vibrant colors of their creations. As they set up their booth, Elena felt a sense of pride swell within her. Together, they had transformed their struggles into art, and their community had blossomed into something beautiful. As the festival began, people flocked to their booth, drawn in by the heartfelt stories behind each piece. Laughter and joy echoed as they shared their journey with others, inspiring hope in everyone they encountered. By the end of the day, their creations had found new homes. As the festival continued, the energy pulsating around Elena and her community was palpable. Their booth, adorned with vibrant fabrics and heartfelt creations, drew the attention of passers-by like moths to a flame. But beneath the surface of excitement, Elena felt the familiar twinge of self-doubt creep in. What if they don't like our work? What if we just blend in with the crowd? Ray. But every time she glanced at her fellow artisans, David adjusting the display of his handmade accessories with a proud grin, Maria chatting animatedly with festival-goers about her sewing classes, her heart swelled with hope. They had built this together, a community woven from shared struggles and aspirations. "Look at this one, Elena," David called out, holding up a sleek leather bracelet adorned with intricate beadwork. "What do you think?" "I wanted to represent resilience, like our journey." Elena smiled, her heart warming at his passion. "It's perfect, David. It captures everything we stand for, the strength and beauty of our experiences, just like our designs." As the crowd grew, so did the chatter, laughter, and energy surrounding their booth. Conversations flowed effortlessly, weaving together stories of struggle, triumph, and the power of creativity. The more they shared, the more Elena felt the weight of her previous uncertainties lifting. Hours passed in a delightful blur, and before she knew it, the sun began to dip low in the sky, painting everything in golden warmth. The festival-goers started to gather near the main stage for the evening performance, leaving their booth momentarily quieter. "Now's our chance to catch our breath," Maria said, stretching her arms above her head. "I didn't expect it to be this busy." "The energy is incredible," Elena nodded, grateful for the moment of respite. "I'm so proud of all of us. We've created something special here, haven't we?" Just then, a little girl tugged at Elena's skirt, her eyes wide with wonder. "Miss, can I try on this dress?" she asked, pointing toward a beautiful yellow dress adorned with hand-stitched flowers. With a warm smile, Elena knelt down to the girl's level. "Of course, sweetheart. Would you like to twirl in it?" The girl's face lit up, her excitement infectious. Yes, please. As Elena helped her slip into the dress, she felt a familiar rush of joy that reminded her of the little girl who had first stepped into her shop months ago. You look beautiful, like a sunflower in a field, Elena exclaimed, watching as the little girl twirled and giggled, her laughter ringing through the air like music. Thank you. I'm going to be a seamstress just like you, the girl declared proudly. Elena's heart swelled. It was moments like these that reminded her of why she had fought through the darkness. You can do anything you set your mind to, darling. Just remember to put your heart into every stitch, she replied, her voice thick with emotion. As the day transitioned to evening, the festival transformed into a magical wonderland. Strings of lights lit up the trees, and the sounds of live music floated through the air. Elena's booth was still bustling, though now with a sense of celebration. Then, amid the laughter and joy, a familiar figure emerged from the crowd. Celeste, her presence as radiant as ever. Elena, look at this place. It's incredible, she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with delight. I've heard nothing but amazing things about your work. Celeste, thank you for stopping by, Elena replied, her heart racing with both excitement and nerves. It's been a whirlwind. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Celeste glanced at the booth, her gaze landing on Maria and David, who were engaging in animated conversation with customers. And look at your community. You fostered something truly special here. It's heartwarming to witness. Elena felt warmth spread through her chest. It feels like a dream. I never imagined I could inspire others like this. I was so afraid of failure. Failure is a part of every journey, Celeste said gently. What matters is how you rise from it. You've clearly found your footing, and so have they. Elena took a deep breath, allowing Celeste's encouragement to sink in. I guess I never realized how much our stories could resonate with others. Each piece we create carries a part of us. Exactly, Celeste nodded, her enthusiasm infectious. And that connection is what draws people in. You're not just selling clothes, you're sharing hope and resilience. As the evening wore on, Elena felt the weight of her fears lift completely. They received orders, spoke to potential collaborators, and laughed with those who came to admire their work. The spirit of the festival had become a celebration of dreams, and it felt empowering to be part of something so uplifting. As the festival began to wind down, Elena gathered her community around her. David, Maria, and the others looked at her expectantly, their faces flushed with excitement and accomplishment. I want to thank each of you for pouring your hearts into this, Elena began, her voice steady but filled with emotion. We've come so far together, and tonight we've not only shown our work, but shared our journeys. This is just the beginning for us. The group erupted into cheers and applause, their enthusiasm electrifying the air. David stepped forward. I've never felt more empowered to create. This experience has pushed me to believe in myself. Maria chimed in, her voice warm and sincere. And I want to continue to teach others, to share the joy of sewing. You've inspired me to find my path again. Elena's eyes glistened with tears of joy and gratitude. Together, we can continue to uplift one another. Let's keep creating, learning, and inspiring. As they embraced, a sense of unity enveloped them, binding their dreams and hopes into a tapestry of resilience. They had faced challenges together, and now they were ready to take the next step as a community. The next few weeks transformed into a whirlwind of creativity and collaboration. They began planning a showcase for their creations, inviting members of the community to join them. Each design featured a story, a message of hope, resilience, and the undeniable beauty of the human spirit. As the day of the showcase approached, Elena felt a familiar flutter of nerves. What if no one shows up? She voiced during a team meeting. David placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. We've already made an impact. Our stories resonate, and that's what will draw people in. Maria nodded in agreement, her eyes sparkling. We have to trust that our journey will inspire others. We're not alone in this. Finally, the day of the showcase arrived, and the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. The community center was filled with colorful displays of their creations, each piece a testament to their hard work and dedication. Elena stood at the entrance, her heart racing as she welcomed guests. The room filled with laughter and conversation as people mingled, each one eager to learn about the stories behind the designs. "Welcome. Thank you for being here." Elena greeted each visitor, her smile genuine and bright. As the evening unfolded, guests admired the work displayed, learning about the community that had come together to create it. Elena felt a sense of pride and joy as she watched her friends and fellow artisans share their stories. "Your work is beautiful," a woman said, admiring a bright blue dress adorned with hand-embroidered flowers. "What inspired this design?" Elena beamed, her heart swelling. "It's a reflection of resilience. Each stitch tells a story of hope and strength." As the night continued, Elena took a moment to step back and observe the connections forming around her. Community members mingled, sharing laughter and stories, exchanging ideas and support. And in that moment, she realized that they had built something more than just a showcase. They had created a movement. From that day on, Stitches of Joy became a beacon of hope in the community, a place where dreams were nurtured and creativity flourished. Elena continued to lead workshops, encourage collaboration, and inspire others to pursue their passions. As she watched her community thrive, surrounded by laughter, creativity, and connection, Elena knew that every struggle had paved the way for this beautiful journey. Each challenge had taught her the power of hope, resilience, and the beauty of the human spirit. The sun set on her quaint little shop, casting a warm glow through the windows. Elena smiled, embracing the serenity that came from knowing that together they could face anything life threw their way, one stitch at a time.